What's up, everybody? My name's Jance, and today we're going to be taking a look at a deck that can beat Mono Red Aggro, that pesky RDW deck that everybody hates to see so much. You know, that turn 4 Embercleave on the Annex, and you're like, oh, this is a headache. Well, today I'm going to be showing you a deck that can actually beat it fairly easily and just simply out-sustain it. So before we go and hop into this deck tech or deck breakdown, I would like to remind everybody, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like down below on the video. It does help each and every video sort of reach more people, right? So more people can enjoy it. Furthermore, if I can keep up with my train of thought here. Furthermore, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, of course, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I try to read all the ones that I can and all the ones that get sent to me in notifications and all that good stuff. If you're looking to see us play these decks live, be sure to hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpillikin and toss a follow. We're live most mornings around 9-10 a.m. You know, try to get there around 9, but let's be real, some mornings I sleep in. And we usually go for about 4 hours, right? So Magic is always first and foremost in those streams, so you got to get up early if you want to catch us playing that. Anyways, if you're looking for a cool community to link up with, be sure to hop down in the description below and click on that Discord link, and then, you know, it'll send you where you need to be. Now, on into what we were actually playing here today. Why do I say that this deck can easily beat Mono Red Aggro, and why do I have so much confidence in it actually being played in ranked? Well, this deck, for one, is still an aggro deck, so up against the Luca decks, you're still hopefully going to be able to get them out of there before turn 5, or, you know, right at your turn 5, because generally that's when Luca comes down, and then Agent of Treachery, and, well, pretty much the game's over. So the nice thing about this deck is it brings a lot of early power, as well as bringing you a lot of card draw, which you normally don't see from aggro decks. It's like you can have a lot of power, and hopefully you draw what you need, or, you know, you just lose all that power, and then you're basically in a mid-range deck, and, well, we've seen how those do. So the key pieces here in this deck, and of course I'll show you all a few cards that you may want to take out, a few cards you may want to put in, but we'll get to that. So the few key pieces is actually just the evasion that flying provides with these units, right? We have a lot of ground creatures running around right now, and not a whole lot to have reach on them, minus Gem Razor, so we're going to be a little careful about that one. But aside from that, flying, as always, has been very evasive. Now, flying got a huge buff with the new mutate mechanic, as these mutate creatures, whenever they come down onto a creature, they kind of have haste if the creature that they're coming down onto already doesn't have summoning sickness, right? So if you turn 1 play your Healer's Hawk, turn 2 play Sea-Dasher, your 1-1, or what was a 1-1, is now a 2-2, still has the lifelink, allows you to draw a card whenever you deal damage to a player. It's just super fantastic. Now the other nice card in this deck is sort of like it's like an Anthem buff, right? So King Caesar or Huntmaster Liger, whichever version you prefer to rock, right? 3 mana mutate, so not too expensive. And whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +X, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Now, why do I say this card is great? Well, first and foremost, you're trying to get your Sea-Dasher down, obviously, so you can draw more cards, and because it deals more damage than your healers and then your Spectral Sailor. Now, after you get your Sea-Dasher down, once you put your King Caesar, it's going to give +2/+2 to all of your units, which ideally by that time you'll have, you know, your Faerie Vandals, a Brazen Borrower, an Empyrean Eagle. So you'll have these other units that you'll be antheming up with your King Caesar and then swinging in for huge damage. Why does this deck do so well against Mono Red? Well, for starters, you have the Healer's Hawk, which off the rip is just going to give you more life, you know, in general. So that's nice. It's a turn 1 creature. It's very cheap. 2, we have Staggering Insight, which gives enchanted creature +1/+1, as well as lifelink and the ability to draw cards, which, again, bonkers, right? For only 2 mana, that's insane. It's absolutely insane. Moving us down over here, we have Elite Guardmage, and it is one of those cards that you can actually cut out of your deck if you want to. I was actually testing out Elite Guardmage and some human creatures alongside Fight as One in this deck to see how efficient and well it actually played. I kind of do like the Elite Guardmage. I don't know how I feel about Sephara, but Sephara's in here because of my personal touch. Y'all know I can't play a deck and not have that card that I'm like, ooh, this is fun. This is really fun. And it may not happen every single time, but obviously when you get it down for paying 1 mana and tapping 4 flyers, it feels fantastic. And your opponent's going to look at it and be like, oh man, that's terrible. Let me try to destroy the Sephara. At which point you, of course, use your Fight as One and you're all good and dandy. Now, few other interesting cards to note that I have in here that you may want to take out, you may want to remove, whatever. But I do think they have their place, and especially right now in Standard. That's going to be Ardenvale Tactician. So 2 mana instant speed adventure, tap up to 2 target creatures. Okay, so a couple different scenarios where this card is just kind of bonkers, right? Lurrus decks. You can tap their priest, or rather force them to tap their priest at a certain given time, right? Other aggro decks. They come in with haste, 2 mana, boom. You tap their 2 largest creatures and they're just out of the equation. So you can really stall out the game, which, again, this is an aggro deck. But up against other aggro decks, where do you win out? You win out in this matchup of gaining more life than what they can possibly deal, right? And drawing more cards than they can possibly draw because, well, they're aggro. They're going for damage. They're not thinking about, hey, what am I going to do if turn 6, my opponent's not dead? Whereas you have the Staggering Insight. You have the Sea-Dasher, right? You have the Winged Words. You have ways to bounce back and get further ahead. So, Faerie Vandal, also another very nice and very cheap add-in here. Faerie Vandal is only an uncommon, comes in at flash speed, so that's super good, and it reads, whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Faerie Vandal. So, when you equip Faerie Vandal, or equip really any creature, any creature with Staggering Insight or Sea-Dasher, then every time they swing in, Faerie Vandal is going to get 1 bigger. So obviously he can just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and if you have Staggering Insight, then he just keeps gaining you more and more and more life. So now that all the main cards are out of the way, and I've shown you what we are actually, I don't know, I just got off work, okay, whatever. Now that we've been through all the cards that we're playing in the deck today, I'm going to take you through all the cards that you could potentially swap out for, you know, any of these in here. Well, I wouldn't say any, but, you know, like the Ardenvale, the Elite Guardmage, or the Sephara, all fair targets for these cards over here. Starting from the top, working our way down to the bottom, we have Rally of Wings and Phalanx Tactics. Now, these are ways to buff your aggro flyers if you want to go for that more explosive finish, we'll say, right? The more top deck heavy, we'll say. Because this one definitely requires more luck as far as just drawing it out and winning, right? But it is very nice, and your opponent definitely never sees it coming or never plans for it, you know, because it's very hard to. So, Phalanx Tactics, 2 mana, instant speed, target creature you control gets +2/+1 until end of turn, and each other creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So, a pretty big buff, right? Now, another good one, and this is an uncommon as well, which makes Phalanx Tactics a very hard sell, considering this card is kind of just better in this Flyers deck. I still felt like I needed to add another aggro-ish sort of card. Anyways, Rally of Wings. This card is beautiful in flying decks. Now, I chose not to add it in here because I wanted to try out some different cards and all that good stuff, but Rally of Wings is, in all honesty, a fantastic flying card. And this, I believe adding this card in is an absolute must. Again, we were testing things out, but if you're going to go play and you're playing for efficiency, I think you should throw in the Rally of Wings. What it does, untap all creatures you control, so good on offense or defense. Creatures you control with flying, check, that's all of them. Get +2/+2 until end of turn. So they're not going to get +2/+1, and they're not going to get +1/+1. They're going to get +2/+2, which is just crazy for 2 mana, right? You can really boost everything. Huge. Now, aside from just going in more aggro, you can also choose to go a little bit more, we'll say, defensive, right? Or not proactive, but not retroactive. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Reactive. There you go. Be a little bit more reactive. You can use things like Essence Capture. I feel like Essence Capture gives you a good little split of being reactive while still being proactive, because it gives you the +1/+1 counter, so it makes, you know, your Healer's Hog, your Spectral, makes whatever, you know, that much bigger, while still allowing you to counter whatever creature your opponent's trying to throw out that you don't want. Dovin's Veto, obviously this is good counter spell because, well, it can't be countered, so you don't have to go through that whole little counter war like you would if, say, you played a Mystical Dispute or a Sinister Sabotage. Now, the nice thing about Mystical Dispute is, well, you can pay it for 1 mana if it's up against another blue deck. So, those pesky Yorion decks, Mystical Dispute is fantastic. And last but not least, we have Sinister Sabotage. This is a classic. This is an oldie, but a classic. And the reason I added it in is because Sinister allows you to look at the top card of your deck, and if you don't want it, toss it. So, you know, and Sinister can counter everything. Creature spells, non-creature spells, you name it, it counters it, 3 mana, and you get to look at the top card of your deck. So, all in all, you know, fairly useful. Now, all that being said and out of the way, we are going to go ahead and jump right into our matches, and I do encourage you to watch all the way through all of our matches as I'm trying to do this new pro tip little thing you'll see as the matches roll on, and of course I want your feedback on it, but most importantly the tips are there to try to help you in certain matchups or just in general with the game. So again, all that being said and out of the way, we're going to go and hop into our matches. Palladium? Palladium? It's either Palladium or Palladium. Alright. So we're not going to be able to attack here for a little bit. That's okay. We're up against a Lurrus deck as well, so this could potentially be bad for us. Maybe possibly very bad. We'll see. Things we don't want to see. Priest. Deadweight. Right? Myra's Grasp. All of the above. These things are fun. These things that you're playing are okay. Alright. Well, I guess that doesn't work. Oops. For some reason I thought that gave him hexproof. It is not. Heads up. We actually can't mutate this onto that. We won't be able to attack. Little Pegasus may not be able to be played in a deck like this. Well, that seems worth. We are playing a little risky here, don't get me wrong, but if they have, what's it called? I guess they just bring Lurrus right back, right? Yeah. Yep. That'll do it. Sephara. You don't know how untimely you are. So we may just not be playing efficiently enough. We may have to end up cutting the King Caesars and that kind of stuff out of our decks. Kind of surprised our opponent isn't pushing us more. Yeah. Think we lose? I'm gonna go on a limb here and say I think we lose. Yeah, alright. GG. Drizzit. I gotta say I love the little homunculus avatar. Little Fibble tip. It's a little too costly for us. That's better. Now I know what you're thinking. Chance is gonna keep the Sephara, but no, I'm gonna play smart. I think I'm gonna bottom the Sephara and keep the rest. The only bad, excuse me, the only bad thing is that Temple of Enlightenment and Castle Vantress both come in tapped, so... I will lead with a Temple of Enlightenment. Fabled Passage. Sure. Still, pseudo allows us to get down untapped land on turn 4 if we just hit an island with it. Probably should have flashed in the Spectral Sailor, now that I think about it. Our opponent's playing Mono Red. Ooh, scary. Interesting. Alright, so do we go for the Winged Words or we go for the Sea-Dasher draw? I think we go for the Sea-Dasher draw. Or they absolutely get rid of our flying creatures. Another Spectral Sailor. Alright, so here we play the Fabled Passage and just grab an island. It's looking okay. It's looking alright. Fervent. So is this like standard classic eel faithful mono red? They're leaving back 2 mana and I don't know why. Light up stage. That explains 1 mana. Why the 2 though? Why the 2? Also, speaking of 2, we have 2 Winged Words. The question is, do we play both of them or just 1? Staggering Insight. I think that's good enough to go on our Spectral Sailor here. Now we'll draw 2 cards from these and also gain 4 life. Up against mono red, that's hard to beat, right? Ardenvale Tactician is really good. Alright. Ooh. So obviously they want to get that Embercleave out of hand this turn. Or out of the like potential exile lineup, right? Shock. Cool. Cool. Are they Embercleaving here? I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they should have Embercleave then shock the creature after. It was already tapped, yeah. And then Bone Crusher. Good old faithful Bone Crusher. Alright. It looks a little bit worse than what it actually is here. So, we're reserving 2 mana for that. I think I go Spectral Winged Words here. Or we just go Faerie Vandal and Spectral Sailor come their turn. Plus Ardenvale. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. So before they get to pass to attackers, we Ardenvale Tactician, tap their 2 attackers, right? Fervent, we resolve. Tap those 2. Do they still swing in with the other Fervent? More than likely. Alright, so we're kind of handling mono red, kind of, sort of. We're getting through it. We're doing it. Playing a Bone Crusher. We're managing, right? We're managing. Fight is one, but we won't be able to use it. Alright, let's use these two. If I can draw planes here, then we can go Ardenvale Tactician, have mana for fight as one, which could be good for us. We don't hit a planes, that's unfortunate. We do have a Brazen, which bounces the Steamkin, right? Then we can still fight as one. Alright. Not dead yet. Not dead and still kicking, actually. Probably should have swung in with the Spectral Sailor. Fuck. Alright. That's alright. This is stressful. This is very stressful. I'm not gonna lie. Mono Red, you're like playing on the line constantly. So you bounce the Steamkin. Pass to attackers. Pass to blockers. You block here. Alright, so we're taking 2, getting rid of the Bone Crusher, and they have 2 mana to replay the Steamkin. Alrighty. Another fight is one. So, here we go. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Alright. We deal 3/7 damage. Thank God Annex doesn't have haste. Oh my goodness, could you imagine that? GG. Alright, so throwing the Ember Cleave on Steamkin. Are they swinging in? That is the question. Moment of truth. It's a toughie. They are. Oops, did that backwards, huh? Alright, so they won't get any damage in. We'll get rid of their Steamkin, and Drizzt is gonna scoop it out. So we're Lasada? 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 God, I want to keep this hand so bad. Just like one more land and we're off to the races. What are we up against? A Lurrus deck. This may not be good enough. I don't love it. Actually, fuck, that's a staggering insight. Well, it's a Castle Ardenvale either way. Alright, yeah. I don't love the lands, but I'm not mulliganing to 5 up against a Lurrus deck. Gutter Bones. Lurrus is the deck that gave us problems before, so we shall see, we shall see. I don't like our lands here, being honest. Priest. Priest is not good. Not good at all. I could go 2 Healer's Hawks. They might just Priest kill both, though. Could also just Brazen Bounce the Priest. Next turn, go 2 Healer's Hawk. Plus... No, I could only go 1 in that. Alright. Going for the double hawk. Caw, caw. And I guess we're hoping. We're sitting here hoping our opponent doesn't like play a 1-mana creature, deadweight one of our healers hawk, priest tap us, right? Probably would be the worst case scenario. If they swing it with the gutter bones, are we blocking? Probably. Because then they won't have enough to sack with the priest, right? Unless they run something like a Lazatep Reaver. Ooh, that would be bad. Serrated Scorpion. Is it the first play I said? 1-mana creature, deadweight, sack creatures. We can't block here, because if they don't have the deadweight, we at least get to keep a Healer's Hawk. If they do have the deadweight or a Mire's Grasp, we're just up shit's creek. To put it lightly. Put it light. Witch's Oven. Witch's Oven isn't a Mire's Grasp or a deadweight. Witch's Oven. And... Gutter Bones. Okay. Crisis averted. Now, we have another crisis. I only have 3 mana. I do need to bounce the priest, but I also need to get other things down. So do we go for the Winged Words and just pray that we hit a land? Because if I go Winged Words and I can hit a blue source, we can hit the Brazen Borrower. If I go Sea-Dasher, it does allow me to gain 2 health, I guess. I think we're going risky. Give me some blue land. Please, oh please, oh please. Come on. What do they have to resolve? Oh, the Witch's Oven. Alright, well come on, Lasada. I don't want to tell them you're go because I hate that. Like, if your opponent's not going, it's not because they don't, like, they're not looking at the board and not realizing it's their go, right? Shouldn't be, right? Surely not. Oh, we hit a plains. Fuck. Of all the things to hit. Did we already play a land this turn? We might have. This is only turn 3. So we couldn't have Brazen Borrowed either way, even if we hit a island. Damn. Damn it! 2 staggering insights though. That's a treat if we can ever see it. See it on the board, see it happen. Lurrus. Serrated Scorpion. Surely they don't priest us this turn. Okay. We got a Faerie Vandal. I should not have played that Plains. Why did y'all let me play that Plains? Oh, we're in big trouble, y'all. I'm not playing this matchup properly. Empyrean Eagle. Yeah, I think for us to win this, it would require them to not get a priest this early. Oh man. Alrighty, GG. There's no need in us going through the rest of that. Lurrus, it's our arch enemy with this Azorius Flyers deck. Aorf, rocking I forget which card that is. We get to go first, and this looks like a spicy ass hand. Finally, spicy ass hand. Alright, pay. Hi, hello. How are you? You're rocking a Yorion deck. Oh, but you have some sick card styles. Sick. And when I say sick, I don't mean sickly. I actually mean they look really dope. So Winged Words allows us to draw 2 cards. Sea-Dasher allows us to deal 2 damage. In a Yorion matchup, I think I would rather deal with 2 damage. I could be wrong. But I think I want damage first. It's not like we're hurting on lands. If I was hurting, I probably would go for the Winged Words. But they may just bounce our Sea-Dasher Octopus / Healer's Hawk here. They don't. They don't, actually. We should have went for the attack first. Mystical Dispute. That's actually fun. It's actually 8 to the OK. Faerie Vandal. That's a good one. Do I care enough about the Spectral Sailor to go ahead and play this? Probably. Probably. Blast Zone. Gonna get us with that Blast Zone. Alright, and that's pretty much all they're doing for their turn, so we'll get down to the Spectral Sailor. Castle Vantress. They could have another Mystical Dispute. They could. Which is really unfortunate given the 2 cards we have in hand, so. If they have it, I can't pay for it either way, right? Also, I can flash in Faerie Vandal, so I think that's what we're going to try and do, is just flash in the Vandal. Problem is they have that Blast Zone, so all they need to do is just blast 2 mana and then the Vandals are gone. Alright. Shocking in a land. They gotta have something spicy here for us. No? Alright, let's go for the Faerie Vandal. They may just Mystical Dispute it here. They may have Frilled Mystic. They may have both. They may very well have both. I wonder if this is just Simic Yorion. Because we haven't seen any planes out of them. Any white mana so far. It's interesting. Alright, so what do they do? Are they going for the Blast Zone tap? Ah, Thassa's Intervention. Shocking that there, because if they have a Mystical Dispute, we can pay now. Alright, Faerie Vandal lands. Wonder if they have Brazen Borrower to bounce our Sea-Dasher. No. Interesting. Staggering Insight. You don't put Staggering Insight on the Faerie Vandal, do you? Oh, it's an Omen of the Sea. It's a little Omen of the Sea. How fantastic. 2 to the bottom. Bravo. Bravo. Growth Spiral. So they're just ramping hard here. What are you trying to do with your Yorion deck? I'm thinking Agent plus the Omens, right? That explains a little bit, but like, you don't want the Euro, whatever. You don't want to bounce him, because when he re-enters, he's just going to sacrifice himself. So like, what is your actual game plan here? What are you trying to do? Alright, King Cheeser, get down there. That's going to be 3... Hey, you son of a bitch. Well, we still get the card down. We just don't get the added bonuses of actually potentially killing him. Would that have been lethal? 3, 4, 3. 3, 4, 3. No, that we would have been 1 off of lethal. Ardenvale Tactician's cool. We're gonna go for the Winged Words though. Ah. Do I want to play the Healer's Hawk? I think so. They're at 6 health. Aorf, do you have what it takes? Yorion, and then they have 2 mana remaining. Of course, Omen of the Forge is gonna get them a kill on the Sea-Dasher, and Yorion gives them 1 blocker. But we can Ardenvale Tactician their Yorion, right? To tap it. Is that all they do with their turn? And then they have 2 mana. What is that 2 mana? Will that 2 mana allow them to live? Is, I guess, the better question. We're going to find out right now. Bum bum bum. All right. Okay. I was like, I win? The opponent wasn't conceding, so I was like, do they have another line that I'm not seeing here? Alright, so picking up our second victory with Azorius Flyers. What do I think about the deck so far? We played it in 4 matches total. Granted, that first match was brutal. We only ever lost to Lurrus. We only ever lost to Lurrus decks. To specifically Lurrus Priest decks, right? So, I like it. I like Azorius Flyers. They were fun. Azorius Mutant Flyers. How do I feel about King Caesar in the deck? I mean, I don't know, because we were going to miss lethal by 1. So, like, he was kind of my anthem to push us into lethal. And the fact that we were going to miss it by 1, it's like, that's kind of the exact situation where I needed you to produce lethal, you know? And granted, they ended up Omen of the Forging. Anyways, it's still, it's the principle of the matter.